Hey, how's it going? I have some cards, and I have a piece that I wrote that I'm gonna link. And that kind of got me sidetracked from what I have been talking about, and what I intend to continue talking about, and it is the sort of overlapping streams of things that are happening that are sort of invisible because you can't like pluck it off a shelf and go, here is the offending nature, and because it's not an object. But I had been talking about black people stuff, and so I still will, but I got sidetracked by seeing come on, you can do it, a video about white only towns. So it's just what it sounds like, and it's kind of funny because don't we already have those? But this one's official, like you can't be there unless you're white. And it's funny because they're running into problems because of racism, because of their racism. I mean, maybe not them directly, like, but generational, institutional racism. So they have the wherewithal, okay, to move to a place and just sort of like buy property and just collectively, I guess, like, I don't know how they purchased it and incorporated and, like, I guess became a town. But because they're doing everything themselves, and I'm just repeating what I saw. I'm not making a judgment here, but I don't know why this would be exactly, but because there are no minorities there to do work that they usually do, the work that has been done is like falling apart like way sooner than it should. And they can't get like repairs or even goods. I think they even said they couldn't get like tires or something. So, and this video, if I can find it again, I'll link that too. But that it was saying that is why they have this problem, because they're not allowed to have the other races in, like, they made it in their bylaws, like, whites only, so that means whites only. And because of, they explain it a lot better in this video, so I'm just gonna, like, encapsulate the information. They kind of ran, like, all of the other, like, the minorities out of, like, the good places in town and, like, the schools or whatever, and so a lot of the people are, like, black or Latino or Asian people of color. They went to trade schools. And so that's who comes and does the professional work that they need. So they have a conundrum. And I was just laughing. I mean, I don't mean to laugh at them, but I don't think, like, there's people in way worse, they have bigger problems than this. This is kind of like, well, you did this to yourselves, because they did finally go someplace else and find all white crews, and they're not good. Like, the work is not getting done. They don't show up, I imagine, because I bet there are a bunch of tweakers that stuff disappears, like tools and things. I mean, it just sounded really bad, and at that point I was like, okay, you have to stop, because it's not, I don't like to, like, gloat about stuff. I'm really trying to avoid that, because what does it really add to anything? There's plenty of that going on in the world. And this is just for myself. I'm not saying anyone else has to do this. Anyway, so I saw that, and then I lost track of what was I thinking about before, because I knew I had a train of thought, and I should have taken notes. It was something black people stuff. Slept wrong or something. My neck is very stiff. So I'm just going to do the cards that I have from the Declarations of Mary Magdalene deck. And this one is the number 17, which, if you add those two, adds up to an 8. And generally, that is related to strength. If you're looking at a tarot card, so that's what I'm going by right now, to be clear. And it says, you are your own church. I did not pick this on purpose. I shuffled and it flew out or fell out or whatever happened. You are your own church. Because it's a Sunday. Now we have to do it again. You are your own church. For your kingdom is within you. I mean, I don't really have to go real far with that. It's because it's like something I talk about a lot. But not usually. Well, maybe I don't talk about it. Maybe I'm just thinking about it a lot. And I think in my mind when I'm not recording and I'm just like talking ideas through or talking to myself or whatever it is, that I say a lot of things that I think are, that's funny or that's great, and then it's not being recorded. So I have to make these separations. Anyway, my feeling has been for a long time that the going to the church is so performative, and it's like, where is the spiritual aspect here? And I felt like that since I was a child. Like, I just felt like this is so fake. And then come to find out when you grow up, it kind of is. Like, no one is there for spiritual reasons in the way that I am spiritual today. I mean, I certainly wasn't. Most of the time I was there against my will, or I just had to be because I went to Catholic school, or I was at my cousin's house and they would always make us kids go to church on Sundays. Not them, just us. That's kind of how it is. Like, no shade on them though. Like, I totally get it. That's kind of how it was done. I don't think I knew any really devout people, and if I knew of them, they were devout to the point that they were strange. So, I mean, like, highly judgmental, like, everything you do and think about is a sin! Like, okay, like, you get tired of that. It's very wearing on you, because you don't feel like the whole you're born a sinner thing, even as a young child, I was like, that's bullshit. So, pardon my French. Oh, so speaking of rules, please take a look at my signs for the disclaimer effect. Yeah. So anyway, but I think I always understood, because it says it somewhere in the literature, that pretty much that your church is inside you. And but what is meant by that is, like, it's with you wherever you go. Like, you don't have to enter the building at the designated time with the people in the prescribed garb. Like, in what way does that make the spiritual more spiritual? So yeah, anyway, but that's my personal feeling. What you go into church for, I'm reminded that even as a child, I wasn't like the rebellious teen that I ended up being. I was just bored, So occasionally there would be a good speaker. Like you would have like the priest, and then you would have other, I don't know, functionaries that would come up. I'm not sure of all of the names because I don't think I knew it then really, but I know like from other religions there's like deacons and things, and that's not from Catholicism, I don't think, but that's the thing. I don't want to be talking, I don't want to just like cross, mix all of this stuff out of respect, I guess. But occasionally there would be a priest or one of these other speakers who would come up, perhaps another priest. That makes sense. And they would speak out of the Bible, usually, or they would have written something, and it would just be, it would grab your attention, and or make you laugh, and or just be interesting. And sometimes I think maybe, what am I talking about? Of course they take into account not boring the congregation to death. I think that's like a younger one of those people thing. Like looking back, that's generally the case. Like the older people were like, they just do the thing by rote, and then it would just be so dull. And so, why do we always subject ourselves to that? I mean, it's good to get the spiritual messages, I guess, and they gotta, like, do their dogma on you. But what you're supposed to get out of it, I think you could get wherever, because lessons are always wherever. Like, whatever happens, you can do that, like, see what there is out of it. Like, even if it's terrible, there's got to be something. There's got to be some reason that happened to you, or for you, however you want to look at it. And that, I guess, if you go out of the religious construct of church, where it's part of the religion, and then, there's all these expectations of you, and you're like, part of the cult, I guess. I don't know how else to explain the congregation, but, you're not supposed to eat things on certain days and wear things, and there may be reasons for that stuff, but there's no reason why you can't know it outside of confines. No reason you can't learn stuff on your own. Anyway, that's my interpretation of that. So the next card I have is, I haven't even eaten anything yet. Anyway, next card I have is number 31. That's, if you add up 3 and 4, or 3 and 1 is 4. So yeah, that's half of 8. Isn't that funny? So 4 for me, I'm not like working either of these very hard, is a foundational, the metaphor for like a foundation, like, I'm not saying that it's like great or big or does anything. It's just the 4 corners that you can build up upon, that you start out with and then build upon. Okay. Sorry, I just got a huge glare over all of the words. Our truth is that which dwells in our hearts, not in our heads. Interesting. Because it's bringing me back to the first card and making me think about like all of the rules and stuff, and proper garb to wear at the church. And I say this, see, I know this, but you don't know what I'm thinking or remembering. There was a time when you didn't wear tennis shoes to church. You didn't wear a t-shirt. You had to kind of dress up like you were like going to somewhere special. And in some ways, in the black community, because those are the most churches I've been in with people, it is an occasion to like dress up in your finery, because really, if you don't go to clubs and you're just a civilian, whatever, where are you gonna wear that stuff? Church is like the place. Church functions. And it's a social occasion too. So again, not something you have to do in a church, but that's how the religion structure kind of, binds you in there. But like I just said, it's not necessarily terrible to people. Yeah, it's like, but that is like you're putting on a bit of a show, and if it were just that, fine. If it was just like the social aspect of getting dressed up for each other and it being an occasion, but it's not supposed to be an occasion. It's where you commune with people spiritually, and if there's not some kind of weird messages, like putting a thumb on the scale, it's stories about people interacting with each other and like getting through life and getting through hard times, and it's again like there to teach us something, to tell us something, to forward our consciousness and spirituality. And so again, well, you don't have to do it in a building designated for religious purposes. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Plenty of people do it. Plenty of people like it, still need it, or do need it. I said still needed it. Still need it like I needed it. I wouldn't classify my whole experience with church as that. Anyway, not as need. So, God, what was I thinking yesterday? I had this whole, like, continuum of what I had been talking about, and that stupid town messed me up. But I have been watching a lot of videos where white people are like realizing how crappy the racism has been, well, toward black people in particular, which of course that's gonna appeal to me. Obviously I can say that because you can see me. But and I'm not gloating. I mean, and this goes right along with like the MAGAs who are like, holy crap, what did I do? I'm not watching them so I can be like, now you're getting it. I mean, I definitely did try to alert some people to what was likely to happen if they insisted on electing the current president, and those people were MAGA, so they were not trying to hear me. That's just the way everything played out. But I'm not like mad at them for their life choices, although they did affect all of us. I'm not mad at them about that either, because that is what's meant to happen. More of that lesson stuff. And my understanding is we have like created problems that require the assistance of all of us to effectively repair, treat, fix, finish, like whatever. We need each other, and we need to be able to talk to each other and interact. Like, we have gotten ridiculous. And so watching those is a relief, because it makes me feel like we're getting closer to where we need to be, which is like, oh, okay, like some of the lessons have been learned. That's great. That, like, I know there's all this other material stuff, and like I don't even know what to call the crap we're all into. I'm into it too, like famous people, attention we give, and sports, and we get so like involving our whole lives in that thing, in those things, and getting all emotional about it, like it's your child or your beloved pet that you actually like live with and breathe the air in the same room with, and they're not like this construct of something bigger and more fantastic than they actually are. Like it's kind of crazy. But what really matters is like really simple stuff that we've kind of just dismissed and diminished in importance, and I think that's insane. But I didn't always think that way, you know. I mean, I had to like look around, look behind me, and go, what have you really gotten out? What has any of this really done for you? And something simple like you know, learning how to meditate and sitting there and hearing like advice come from inside of you, and then, you know, that takes getting used to. And I'm not like, I've never been like a disbeliever of that sort of thing. It was completely easy for me to accept. But on the other hand, I did also need stuff validated, not vindicated, but yeah, validated, because you can believe all you want, but like when the whole world is like, that's not real, that's not a thing. If you do believe a thing is real that's like kind of fantastic, then you look crazy. So you spend a long time living your life as a crazy looking person, and I don't care. I don't care, because I feel like it's made me so much calmer, so I understand things on a far grander scale than I ever did, and it makes the horrible stuff make sense, why it's happening. And like, once you know that you played a role in it happening, because all of our consciousness together creates all of our reality, our shared reality. So I don't know, it's just easier to relax into. So I lost the track of my black thing that I was talking about before, and you got what you got today. But I feel like that's not bad stuff to have discussed. Or yeah, I was thinking about that too. Am I having a discussion here? Am I talking to myself? What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm having a good time though. Thank you and good night.